Hello students, welcome back to Let Us Master English. Today in this video I'm going to teach you poem 2 of Flamingo book for class 12th CBSE. Name of the poem is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. This poem is written by Stephen Spender. So let's get started. About the poet. An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum was published by Stephen Spender in 1964. The poem resonates the poet's political views and brings forth the difficulties faced by the kids in slum. This poem was written to highlight the social injustice prevailing at that time in the world. In this poem, he has concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequalities. तो इस पोयम में पोएट आपको उन बच्चों के बारे में बता रहे हैं जो कि एक स्लम में एलिमेंट्री स्कूल क्लासरूम में पढ़ते हैं, उनकी क्या कंडीशन है। और इस पोयम के जरिए poet wants to make an appeal to the educated and affluent sections of the society to better the lot of slum children whose hope is education. वो चाहते हैं इन बच्चों की हालत में सुधार लाया जाए, उन्हें भी पढ़ाई के उतने ही मौके मिलने चाहिए जैसे कि दूसरे बच्चों को मिलते हैं. Now students, I'll be explaining you the poem stanza wise. We will also discuss the word meanings and the poetic devices appearing in the poem. Now the first stanza is, far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her way down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So students, here the poet is saying far, far from gusty waves. Gusty waves means strongly blowing winds. So these children, they are far, far from gusty waves. So here the poet means to say that these children means the children who study in the elementary school classroom in a slum. They do not enjoy the beautiful sights of nature because these bounties of nature are not visible in the slum. And their uncombed, untidy and unkempt hair scatter on their pallor. Pallor means pale and dull face like rootless weeds. And students, you know, weeds means unwanted plants that grow on their own. So, as the unwanted plants lie scattered on the ground, in the similar manner, hair of these children, which is quite untidy, uncombed, are scattered on their pale and dull faces. Here the poet also means to say that these children are also as unwanted as the rootless weeds. So like rootless weeds, here the poet has used the poetic device simile because the children are compared with rootless weeds and their hair are compared to the weeds lying scattered here and there. Now the poet is describing the students who are studying in that slum classroom. Line number 3, the tall girl with her weighed down head. A tall girl is sitting there in the class with her head bowed down. And why is she sitting with her head bent down? Because it has been weighed down by being burdened with sad thoughts about her misfortune, which is making her feel depressed. So she is bowed down with the weight of poverty, stress, and misfortune. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. So one boy is sitting in the class who is as thin as a paper. So it means the boy is a victim of malnutrition. With rat's eyes. So her eyes shift like that of rats in search of food and contentment. The stunted means undeveloped, unlucky heir of twisted bones. The boy is undeveloped. He is unlucky because he is the successor of twisted bones. Her father is suffering from gnarled disease in which the bones are bent or twisted, or you can say naughty. So this boy has inherited that disease from his father. And what is the boy doing? He is reciting his lesson from his desk. So here we can say that disease and pain are his only inheritance from his father. So there is no enthusiasm or spirit in his voice. At back of the dim class. Now the poet is describing one more boy who is sitting at the back end of the dim class. The class is dim because it is dark and dingy, as it is a slum school where nobody cares for lighting. And dim is also used to denote the future of these children in the class. So what is that boy doing? His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So the dull and monotonous classroom does not interest this sweet and young child. His mind deviates towards the squirrel in her tree room. So he too dreams of fun and frolic in an open space. सो स्टूडेंट्स, इस स्टेंजा में पोएट ने आपको बताया है कि ये जो बच्चे स्लम स्कूल्स में पढ़ते हैं उनको नेचर को एंजॉय करने का बिल्कुल भी मौका नहीं मिलता. उनके जो चेहरे हैं उसका रंग बिल्कुल पीला है और उनके चेहरे के ऊपर इस तरह से बाल बिखरे होते हैं जैसे कि ग्राउंड में अनवांटेड वीड्स इधर उधर बिखरे पड़े होते हैं. क्लास में एक टॉल गर्ल बैठी हुई है अपना सिर झुका के. उसका सिर क्यों झुका हुआ है? गरीबी के बर्डन की वजह से. और एक और लड़का है जो बिल्कुल एक पेपर की तरह दुबला पतला है और उसकी आंखें कंटिन्यूअसली फूड और सेटिस्फेक्शन की तलाश कर रही है. और ये जो लड़का है अनडेवलप्ड है क्योंकि उसके फादर जो हैं वो ट्विस्टेड बोन्स की बीमारी के शिकार हैं और इस बच्चे ने अपने फादर से वही डिजीज को इनहेरिट किया हुआ है और वो अपने डेस्क से अपने लेसन को रिसाइट कर रहा है. और क्लास के बिल्कुल बैक में एक स्वीट और यंग बच्चा बैठा हुआ है जिसकी आंखों में आज भी सपने हैं. उसको ये क्लासरूम का डल एनवायरनमेंट अट्रैक्ट नहीं करता और उसका ध्यान कहाँ है? ट्री रूम में जो स्क्वॉल्स गेम खेलती हैं उसका पूरा ध्यान उनकी तरफ है. So here in this stanza, poet has used different poetic devices. Simile is there. Now far, far from gusty waves. Here the poet has made use of the poetic device repetition because the far word is repeated twice. And then metaphor is also there where the boy is compared with paper as he is thin, paper seeming boy. So I hope this stanza is clear to you. Now let me discuss some of the questions. Who are these children? Answer: these children are the poor children who live in the slum and study in the elementary school classroom. What does the poet mean by gusty waves? By gusty waves, the poet means the beautiful sights of nature which are not visible in the slum. Next question. What has possibly weighed down the tall girl's head? The tall girl's head has possibly been weighed down by burden of poverty and misfortune. Identify the figure of speech used in first 3 lines. So the poetic device used here is simile, when the unkempt hair is compared to rootless weeds. Who is the unlucky heir? The boy who has a stunted growth with twisted bones sitting in the slum school classroom is the unlucky heir. What is the stunted boy reciting? The stunted boy symbolizes the disability he has inherited from his father and is reciting his lesson from his desk. Who is sitting at the back of the dim class? A sweet young boy is sitting at the back of the dim class. Why is the class dim? Class refers to the classroom, which is quite dark and dingy as it is in a slum school where nobody cares for lighting. What does the child want to enjoy? The child wants to enjoy seeing squirrels playing in the tree outside the classroom. Now let's move on to the second stanza. Now students, on sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head cloudless at dawn. Dawn means early morning, sunrise time. Civilized dome riding all cities. Civilized dome, here it means a rising sun at the horizon, which is in the shape of a dome, that is semicircle. And here it also means the institutions of the civilized world. Belt, flowery, Tyrolese valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with a fog. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of words. So now in the first stanza, the poet has described about the students who study in the slum school. And now here in this stanza, the poet is telling us about the classroom and the things which are displayed there in the classroom. So here in the second stanza, the poet describes the dirty classroom on sour cream walls. Sour means unpleasant, and here it refers to the color of sour cream. That is, the walls of the classroom are off-white or cream colored. Donations. Donations means things given or received in charity. So on the walls are displayed the names of people who have given donations. Shakespeare's head, it means the bust, the upper part of Shakespeare's body is displayed. Cloudless at dawn. So the background of Shakespeare's portrait is a clear sky. Civilized dome riding all cities. So big institutions, buildings are shown there, and belled, flowery Tyrolese valley. So walls have pictures of the beautiful Tyrolese valley, which has beautiful bell-shaped flowers. And in the classroom, open-handed map. A picture of a map is also displayed in the classroom, awarding the world its world. But in this map, the slum is not shown. So for these children, this map is not their world. These windows means the windows of the slum classroom are their world, where all their futures painted with fog. So here the poet means to say that the future of these children who study in the slum school is quite uncertain. It is blurred. It is foggy. So the children's eyes can only view a narrow road enclosed with a dull sky. So it is quite dreary and depressing place for the children. So here the poet has made use of metaphor, sour cream walls, narrow streets sealed with a lead sky. And the poet has also made use of assonance, which is repetition of vowel sound E, belled, flowery, Tyrolese valley. So E is repeated here, and allusion is also used, a reference to well-known person or place. So here Shakespeare's had Tyrolese valley, and far word is repeated, so repetition is also used. तो सेकेंड स्टेंजा में जो पोएट है वो आपको बता रहा है कि वो जो स्लम क्लासरूम है उसकी दीवारों के ऊपर, वॉल्स के ऊपर क्रीम कलर किया हुआ है, और क्लासरूम की दीवारों पे जो भी डोनेशंस हैं वो लगी हुई हैं. एक शेक्सपियर का पोर्ट्रेट लगा हुआ है जिसका बैकग्राउंड क्लियर स्काई है, और बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स की फोटो लगी हुई है. टायरोलीज वैली, यहाँ पे बहुत खूबसूरत फ्लावर्स उगते हैं, उसकी तस्वीर लगी हुई है, और एक मैप भी लगाया हुआ है उस क्लासरूम में. पर वो मैप जिस वर्ल्ड को शो करता है वो दुनिया इन बच्चों की दुनिया नहीं है. तो ये जो बच्चे इस स्लम क्लासरूम में पढ़ते हैं उनका जो फ्यूचर है वो बिल्कुल फॉग की तरह धुंधला है. वो बस उस नैरो स्ट्रीट को देखते हैं जिसका अंत स्काई से बंद हो जाता है, और उनकी जो दुनिया है इट इज फार फार फ्रॉम रिवर्स, केव्स एंड स्टार्स ऑफ वंस. यानी इनको बिल्कुल भी नेचर की खूबसूरती को एंजॉय करने का मौका नहीं मिलता. सो स्टूडेंट्स, let us discuss some of the questions from stanza 2. So who are the children referred to here? The children referred to here are the children of slum areas who come to the elementary school to study. Which is their world? Their world is the world of darkness where there is no hope and their future is written or painted with fog. It means their future is bleak and uncertain. How is their life different from that of other children? तो ये जो बच्चे स्लम स्कूल में पढ़ते हैं इनकी लाइफ दूसरे बच्चों की लाइफ से अलग कैसे है? The children of the slum are emaciated and poverty stricken as against the other children who are healthy and have all the comforts and luxuries of life. The life of the slum children is filled with darkness and hopelessness. Why is the future of these children painted with a fog? The future of these children is dark and uncertain, meaning that it cannot be seen. So the poet says that it is painted with a fog. Now students, let's move on to the next stanza, third stanza. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map, a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. Like bottle bits on stones. So once again, poetic device simile is used here. Of all their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as two. So now in the third stanza, the pensive poet suddenly turns aggressive and feels that Shakespeare is wicked. Wicked means evil, not good. This is because he misleads the children. He shows them a beautiful world of ships, sun, and love, which is not only unreal for them, but has a corrupting influence on these children, and it tempts them to steal. When children see these things, they are tempted to have it. So he instigates them to steal and try to escape from their cramped holes. So the existence of these children is indeed very sad. These emaciated children are so thin that it appears that they are wearing only skin. It appears as if their bones are trying to peep out of their skin. The spectacles they are wearing have glass which has been broken and mended, like bottle bits on stone. Their entire appearance reeks for their deprivation. The poet shows his outrage, his anger, by suggesting that the maps on their walls should show huge slums instead of beautiful scenic graphics. तो थर्ड स्टेंजा में पोएट काफी गुस्से में आ जाता है और वो कहता है कि जो शेक्सपियर है वो एक अच्छा इंसान नहीं है, क्योंकि वो इन बच्चों को ऐसी दुनिया दिखाता है जिस दुनिया को ये बिलोंग नहीं करते, और वो सारा कुछ देख के इन बच्चों के अंदर लालच पैदा होता है। वो इन चीजों को चोरी करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि इन बच्चों की जो दुनिया है वो क्रैम्प्ड होल्स है, छोटी छोटी झुग्गी झोपड़ियों में वो रहते हैं, और उनका पूरे का पूरा समय जो है फॉग यानी मॉर्निंग से लेके नाइट तक सिर्फ स्लम में ही बीत जाता है। तो उस कूड़े के ढेर के ऊपर ये बच्चे ऐसे लगते हैं जैसे उनकी जो हड्डियां हैं उनकी स्किन से बाहर झांक रही हो, और उन्होंने जो स्पेक्टेकल्स पहने हुए हैं, स्पेक्टेकल्स ऑफ स्टील, यहाँ पे पोएट ने एलिट्रेशन पोएटिक डिवाइस यूज किया है, एसएस इज रिपीटेड हेयर, और उसके ग्लास जो है वो मेंडेड है, उसको ठीक किया हुआ है, जिस तरह से स्टोन के ऊपर कोई ग्लास की बोतल के टुकड़े पड़े हुए हो। तो उनका जितना भी समय है वो इसी फॉगी स्लम में बीतता है। So students, let's discuss some questions from this stanza also. Who are them referred to here? Them refers to the children from slum area who are poor and deprived. What tempts them? The maps on the wall, the pictures of ships, sun, and other natural things on the wall of their classroom tempt them to go out and explore the beautiful world. What does the poet say about their lives? The children of the slum live amidst dirty surroundings in cramped houses which are dark and unpleasant. So the poet is not happy with the way these children are compelled to live. What do you mean by from fog to endless night. From fog to endless night means from morning till night. The poor children of the slum have a miserable existence. They suffer from morning to night every day. So students, let's move on to the next stanza. Fourth stanza. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Catacombs means underground graves or cemetery. Break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. So now, finally, in the last stanza, the poet reveals the appalling truth that there can be no change for the better unless a governor, a school inspector, or an educationist or a visitor comes to the school. The map in their classroom is the only medium for the children to view the world outside their slums. सिर्फ वो मैप ही है जिसके जरिए बच्चे आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड को देख सकते हैं, और जब तक कोई गवर्नर, कोई इंस्पेक्टर, कोई विजिटर आके इन बच्चों के लिए कुछ नहीं करेगा तो उनकी हालत में कोई सुधार नहीं आने वाला है. The windows of their classroom shut them and confine them to their world of poverty and helplessness. So the poet appeals to break open all the shackles that are confining these children to the slum. So the poet appeals to those people who are in power to liberate these slum children from the life that they are leading. He also exhorts the people themselves to break open these windows which appear to have sealed the future of these children. He would like to see these children bask in the educational facilities in this world and run carefree on the golden sands and enjoy a new lease of life and freedom. The poet earnestly desires that each and every child should be able to enjoy the fundamental right to freedom. They should have access to all kinds of books, new as well as old. They should also be able to learn from nature around them. So Spender ends the poem on a positive note as he expresses his belief that people who are ignited by the spirit of knowledge and learning are the ones who create history. It is the moral liability of everyone to break barriers between the haves and the have-nots and give a meaningful education to all. For history remembers only those people who are educated and have enlightened themselves for a better world. So the poet means to say that history is written by those whose language has the energy and warmth of the sun. So students, last stanza में poet जो है वो कहता है कि जब तक कोई गवर्नर, इंस्पेक्टर, विजिटर स्कूल में आके उन बच्चों की हालत ना सुधारनी चाहे तब तक ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. तो ये जो मैप है उनके क्लासरूम में लगा हुआ है और इस क्लासरूम की जो खिड़कियां हैं उन्होंने इन बच्चों को उस स्लम क्लासरूम तक ही सीमित करके रखा हुआ है, और उन कैटाकॉम्स में, अंडरग्राउंड ग्रेव्स में ये बच्चे सारा दिन बिताते हैं. तो वो सारी जंजीरें जो इन बच्चों को रोक रही हैं वो तोड़ दे जानी चाहिए, और इन बच्चों को भी इक्वल मौका मिलना चाहिए कि वो अच्छे से अच्छे एनवायरनमेंट में पढ़ाई कर सकें, ग्रीन फील्ड्स को देख सकें, बीच के ऊपर, गोल्ड सैंड्स के ऊपर दौड़ सके, और उनकी लैंग्वेज में भी वो शक्ति हो कि वो अपनी हिस्ट्री लिख सके. So students, Let us discuss some questions. What is meant by break, oh break? So the poet wants to bring these children out of their filthy surroundings. He wants them to break the shackles that this slum has put on them so that they can see the outside world. Who are they here? They refers to the poor, emaciated children of the slum. What does the poet want for them? The poet wants that these children should be properly educated because, according to him, history is written by those whose language has the energy and warmth of the sun. What does the expression "their tongue run naked into books" means? The expression means that the slum dweller should be exposed to good modern education and there should be no restrictions on them. So students, let me discuss the rhyme scheme of the poem now. Now you can see the lines here in this poem. There is no rhyme scheme. The poem has been written in free verse or blank verse. So there is no rhyme scheme in this poem. So students, thank you very much for watching this poem. Please like, share and comment. If you have any problem, you can ask me question in the comment section. I will definitely answer your queries. Thank you very much.